Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery. A comparison rendition, if you will. Before we get started, 22 veterans a day in this country take their own lives. It's a number that's staggering, and it's one that we bring up every video because that's all I know to do. Vets, I love you. You have a place here. You fought for us. Let us fight for you. We back to blue over here. Scab, how do you do that? We don't break the damn law. And finally, if you're an addict, never quit quitting. Now, today we're doing a comparison. SE4 versus the Bk18, the harpoon. Now, this isn't a versus, it's simply a comparison. And as we go, you guys make up your own mind. Two great feeling knives. Right here, this first section, we're cutting up some nylon rope, cutting some bottles, a little bit of mule tape. I just wanted to show you some of the various things. Now, let me give you a couple specs. The blade length on both is about 4.5. Okay, cutting surface is a little longer on the Becker. On the Esse, it's a 4.1. Overall length, 9.3 for the Becker, 9 inches on the Esse. I don't have the edge degree for the Esse. I'm thinking it's 25 per side, but I'm not sure. For the Becker, it is a 20-degree edge bevel per side. The Becker's 1095 Crovan. Y'all know that. It's an old steel. Now, this particular model of Esse is going to be 440C. Another old school steel, but a great steel. The Becker has the silicon handles. The Esse micarta. The Becker is a flat grind. I believe the Esse is as well, or this version is as well. Now, the Rockwell hardness for the Becker is 56 to 58, while the Esse it's 55 to 57. Both are about 3/16 thick. The Esse's a drop point, while the Becker is what they call a harpoon. So just a few things there for you on the technical end. Now, I will say this, and I say this all the time. These aren't meant to be tests like you go out and camp and do all that, or 30-day tests. There are some channels who do that and do a phenomenal job at doing it. What our goal is here is to run a handful of tests that I use every day in work, or you might use in your everyday life, and let you guys make that determination. Now, both knives excelled. I will say this: the Becker's handle is about a 1/2 inch longer than the Esse. While I prefer the micarta, that 1/2 inch is big to me. Both are full tang construction. Both are American made. Both are awesome knives. I personally like both. Like I said, if you just put a gun to my head, which has been done before for less, but if I had to make a choice, I'd be stuck, man. That 1/2 inch on the handle does make a difference, but I will say this: it's hard to beat Esse. You're talking about two American icon in knife making. You're talking about two reliable, dependable knife makers, and American made. That ought to make everybody exceedingly happy. I loved them both. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Once they're out of the box, here's the deal, fellas. Once they're out of the box and you put your own edge on it, well, it's anybody's ball game. Okay, I would say that these two did very well. I chopped this. I don't know why the hell I did that, but you know, to add some drama to it and give somebody something to bitch about. I will say this. The harpoon seemed a little sharper, cut a little better in certain instances. Now, the Esse, I would say, as with the batoning and some of the tasks we do later, took it. So, I mean, it's a straight up down the line. It comes down to personal preference. I'm just going to be honest with you. Some of y'all are going to take the harpoon. Some of you are going to take the Esse. Some of you are going to be mad at me because I didn't choose one or the other. And that's fine. Be mad all you want. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just out here making a living. You know what I'm saying? Old Scab looking good there, looking lean. Y'all see how the neck knife accentuates the old stomach? That's why I don't wear them. But I love both of these knives. I tried to give y'all some good testing. This is just some old nylon pain in the butt rope to cut. Now, the harpoon did a little better there on the push, but I don't know how much you can go off at. I will say this: I will say this, when it comes down to like penetration, the harpoon wins, okay? And I think that's just common sense because of the shape of the blade. Now, nothing, I don't want anything to be negative in this, because nothing bit my hand. There were no hot spots. Even though the Esse's handle was a little shorter, it was perfect. And I'll say this, the Esse 4 PR, the Patrick Rollins, the 4 that he came up with, man, that to me in this size knife is the perfect knife. I tried to steal that one from Kirk, but you know, he noticed it gone, so I had to give it back. These two are Kirk's as well. Now this is Kirk's wheelhouse knife right here. Just overall length on both of them, and it's what he's good at. I'm hoping he'll do a video with me pretty soon. Guy's super knowledgeable, and on some of these tests can certainly handle a knife a lot better than I can with these old busted up hands. But what I decided to do, I got some pine and I got some cherry, and we stripped, I used the knife, I stripped back the pine and the cherry, and then we batoned with both. And then we did a little chopping test as well. So tried to give you some good overall testing. Both were a joy to use. Now here's some of the pine, here's that Esse. Now right here, son, I was a little nervous there, but then the Esse like kicked in the overdrive. And I mean, really did a good job. Now, where we're at, out here in this area we're at, they're building a brand new subdivision. You say, Scab, what does that matter? Well, we're going to be out here a couple days, and there's a lot of down trees, a lot of stuff. They've cut down a lot of stuff that we can use. And I'm going to try to use it. I've got several more knives to test. And so if you guys see, we didn't cut down any pine tree. We didn't cut down any of that. Didn't have to. Now, if they get in the way, I'm going to. And I just want to tell my dear tree-hugging friends that I love dearly with all my heart. Sometimes, folks, we got to do it, you know. I hate it. I hope it don't upset you too much. If it does, I don't know why you're watching the channel. But, you know, love having you. Now, I tried to offset, you know, before anybody says, well, Skip, they're not identical. Well, you know, I'm out here busting my nuts for you. What y'all want me to do? I didn't bring a tape measure. I'd have gladly made them all identical. But just look at it this way. If I'd have done that, you wouldn't have had nothing to complain about. See? I'm looking out for you. Old Scab looks out for you. Give you plenty to complain about every day. Love having you. God bless you. Now, both of these knives come with Kydex sheaths. Kirk's outfitted the Bk18 with a tech lock. I am a big fan of the tech locks. The Esse is Kydex, and it's got a metal clip on the back, kind of a snap tension clip that I like. I like both of them. I would be more prone to carry the Becker because of that tech lock. It came, I believe, with a nylon, like a nylon strip, you know how they do. And he's removed that, which I don't blame him. I would have too, and added the tech lock on the Bk18. I will say this, I have a Becker 2 and a Becker 3. I want to get a Becker 9. Now y'all know my wheelhouse is a little bigger, hence the Becker 9, or yeah, the Bk9. But this 18, I would love to carry. Got a little feather sticking done there with the Esse. Now that's what I'm saying. The Esse did a little better on that feather sticking than the Bk did, and it could be my skill set. I gladly throw that out there. Now, both knives did really well in this, and you know, hey, we're stripping bark. I get that's not a super hard test. I understand that, but that all the more important to do it, because if it can't do that, well, you know. And here's the thing I was telling the guys out here. Every man's responsible for the sharpness of his knife. You just are. So if you're a little better sharpening, you know, if you hand me a knife, somebody else hands me a knife, you can sharpen better. Well, which one do you think is going to perform better? That's why I wanted to do this comparison, because not only are they very, very similar, the edges were done about the same time, and it gives us a good comparison between 20 per side and 25. Here's the Esse doing some chopping. Y'all know I'm a chopaholic. Y'all knew there's going to be some chopping in this thing. The old patented Scab hit it 76 times in 76 different spot so you don't get a consistent chopping. But that gives y'all a good look at the test. And we're just moving on here. Esse did a good job. After I tested that SE4, the Patrick Rollins SE4, I'm telling you, I was hooked for life. I got an SE6 at the house. Now remember, guys, tonight when I get off work and I get home and get situated, we're going to have our giveaway rules. I just talked to Jimbo. I got to go by there and get that Ontario 7. Hey, in the comments, y'all, please drop him a thank you, because that ain't, you know, he is bought this knife and is giving it away to this channel. I can't make that clear enough. It's not a knife I supplied. It's one Jimbo bought. Man, thank you so much. Jimbo's been a big supporter of this since we got going. And that's why I always get, you know, I want to mention everybody, and I try to, because this ain't just me. It's not. I wished it was, but it ain't. I don't know why I said I wished it was. It don't really matter. I'm glad it's everybody. I'm glad that people care enough to put in and do and care. Now, speaking of people putting in and caring, here's the Donnie B All Day drop test. D-Bad has been a huge part of this channel. Now, I just watched his giveaway series and his stories he told, and that was awesome. I'm glad somebody won it, because it was wearing him out. But this is my Donnie B All Day drop and throw into the log test. This checks the balance of the knife. Both of them, again, guys, performed very well. I will say this. Here, in this test, I really was able to tell the difference in penetrating power. That harpoon, now it's not an act. That thing, son, it bit. Esse did good, okay? But the harpoon is just that. It's a harpoon. It's built for penetration. And it did that, son. I'm a decently strong fella, and to have to double pull a couple times, I was pleasantly surprised. Okay, do I recommend them? Well, I'm gonna leave that up to y'all. These are both great knives. Like I said, this was simply a comparison, not a versus. I think they both held up well. I think they both performed very admirably. I'd be proud to have either one of them. Well, guys, listen to me. I love y'all. God bless y'all. Thank y'all so much for everything that you do for me and that you mean to this channel. I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son.